I want to preface this by we wanted to do this on a very authentic Bentonville fall day, and so you're going to get Kalene and I on a very authentic Bentonville fall day.
Yes, it's beautiful weather.
It's mountain biking
Yeah,
weather,
exactly.
right?
It's the fall, the perfect time to go out, ride, run, whatever you want to do. It's the best.
So please have some patience with the hair here, but we're going to talk a little bit about Bentonville and Visit Bentonville and your work here. You were hired in 2005.
Yes, ma'am.
And when you got here, there were 20,000 people in Bentonville. And that had to have been quite a task to step into that role and sell it as this tourism destination that it is today. Talk a little bit about that as you stepped into that role.
Well, first and foremost, in 2005, we were really a business destination. We weren't that leisure destination. I started in August of 2005. May of 2005 was when Crystal Bridges made their announcement of building here. So I got the opportunity to be at the beginning of that experience of kind of recreating this leisure destination with some wonderful people like those partners of Crystal Bridges. And then we continued just to grow from there. And so it was really exciting to be part of that. I always tell people that I got on the bus at the right time to make that transition from that business destination to the leisure, to the addition of the leisure destination.
A lot of people would look at Bentonville and say there was a very distinct moment where we made that shift into a tourism destination. And a lot of that probably has to do with the announcement of Crystal Bridges.
Yeah.
That became a catalyst for what's to come. Speak a little bit about that announcement and then where you went from there.
Sure. I think the wonderful thing about that announcement was it was in 2005, and I think when we started seeing things change, that our downtown started evolving, it spawned growth and economic development in our downtown, from restaurants coming in the 2007, 2008, mountain bike, Fat Tire opened up. Those kind of things happened prior to Crystal Bridges opening up, or opening, or even breaking ground in a sense. So I think that just that announcement spawned an excitement and understanding what was coming for the future. The nice thing is Crystal Bridges anticipated, 200 to 300 people coming annually, and that first year we had over 500. Million. So it was, or half a million. And so it's kind of exciting for that we just saw that transition of people wanting to watch what was going on. Along with, 2007 was our first 5 miles of our mountain bike trails. And then, 2009 was that 9 and 10 was that next, 10 to 15 miles that was coming in. Our Razorback Greenway opened up. So there's a lot of things that happened from 2005 to 2011 prior to Crystal Bridges opening up, creating this destination for people from outside the area, which also we benefit as locals.
Sure. There was the art, the local art
Yes.
within the community in Crystal Bridges, and then later on the Momentary.
Yes.
And then as you spoke to the trail system. And we've gone from establishing the first few miles of trails to the mountain biking capital of the world, which is something that Visit Bentonville was very instrumental in kind of laying that, planting that flag.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think we started going out and people wanted us to talk about 5 miles of trails, and most places people don't travel for 5 miles. They want to travel for 10 plus miles. So we knew when they made that second announcement of that, 10 to 15 miles coming into our area, we wanted to tell that story. So we started going out, started bringing in influencers, telling the story a little bit different than we were telling initially. So it was really kind of exciting for us to go out and talk about it as a destination, but also partnering with our local residents and our local businesses. And I think what we are different than most cycling cities is our whole city has adopted that cycling culture. And so it's not just about Visit Bentonville, it's about an identity that we're created as a community.
And it's really interesting because if you're not a mountain biker, you try the e-bike. If you don't try the e-bike, maybe you're the parent that has the kid on the trailer. So, and I imagine we'll have some cyclists going by as we're talking here.
Yeah.
So it has become ingrained in the culture.
Yes, yeah.
Something maybe I didn't know a few years ago was how Visit Bentonville is funded and how it works.
Yeah.
And I want to explain that to people watching because it is different than Downtown Bentonville Inc., which is a nonprofit, and the Chamber of Commerce. So explain how it's funded and how you get that money coming in.
Sure. Well, the nice thing is that we have 2% on lodging. 2% tax on lodging, so we get that, and then a 1% on our restaurants. So it's really a great opportunity for us to tell our story to the rest of the world, and we really focus on catering to the 50 miles and out. People that are going to come in and stay the night or come in, it's new dollars. So we want to bring in new dollars to the community that are great assets for our restaurants, our lodging, for our hotels, for our attractions. It's all new dollars for retail. We want to continue to bring in those dollars and invite people from outside the community.
So as Visit Bentonville tells that story and is more successful, you bring in more money. Here comes my hair. You bring in more money. And another thing people don't realize is that that money is, a lot of it's reinvested in the community in places like
Lawrence Plaza,
yes. Right behind us. So speak about those investments. I want people to understand that Visit Bentonville benefits, the tourism, but also the people here living here day to day.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I feel like our leadership prior to me coming, our city council and some of the leaders in our community really realized that dollars that we're bringing in from a tourism aspect, we need to reinvest in things that will impact tourism, but also be an asset and kind of an experience for our locals. So we're really excited about creating those opportunities. In our state law and in the city ordinance, it has to impact tourism. But we feel like things like Lawrence Plaza, it creates as a secondary destination for people that are coming for Crystal Bridges or to see our art. They still can do a nighttime experience here at there. We replaced the turf at, or I guess it wasn't turf, but we didn't replace it. We put turf down in partnership with the Parks and Rec Department. We provided the soccer boards or the scoreboards for the all the ball fields in the city because we knew that if we wanted to bring in tournaments, they needed to have quality type experiences when they came in. We did a partnership with them at the community center with the 8-lane pool. That was one of the things they were not going to put in, and we were like, hey, we can bring in swim meets throughout the year with an indoor facility. So we tried to figure out how do we partner with our city and our city council and our Parks and Rec to create experiences that allow us to bring in visitors, but also asset for our community and something that our residents can experience and enjoy. So it's really important to us as we do those kind of projects. We want to make sure that they're positive things that are going to impact the community.
And when you think about Lawrence Plaza, the ball fields, the community center, the library, these are all things that day-to-day locals enjoy.
Oh, hands down.
But draw in people from exterior areas as well.
Yeah, and I use the turf as a prime example. We put the turf down. I don't think they've had, and I can't verify this for sure, but if I remember correctly, they haven't had to cancel a league game, so we were able to have our weekends with tournaments. So then it becomes this great opportunity, a give and take for all of us, that they're not having to play on weekends. They're getting their games put in during the week. Some weekends I think they do, but the majority of them we get to bring in a tournament. So then we fill up our hotels, we fill up our residents with those new dollars.
Win-win.
Yes, for sure.
So Visit Bentonville's marking 25 years in 2021.
Yes.
So I want you to look back and talk about some of the accomplishments and the things you're proud of over the last 25 years. And I'm not going to ask you for the next 25 years because that's a big stretch, but what do you see in 5-10 years from now?
Sure. Well, I think our last 25 years, I'm really proud of building the team that I have that's really creating the opportunity for us to really connect with folks. We have a sales team that we did not have before. We talk about sports, we talk about meetings, we talk about bus tours, we talk about weddings, things that we were not in connecting with prior to that. We have an amazing team that is marketing, that has knowledge to where should we be marketing, what should we be marketing, how should we be marketing. They're innovative, they're coming up with new things. We're finding out what the trends are going on. That we had 3 people when I first started, and now we have 8 people with a 9th one hopefully in the works soon. But we're really, really targeting what's going on in our community, and hopefully we're building this team that is going to bring new visitors in, but also kind of telling our story much better than we did prior to that. So I think that's one of my biggest accomplishments. But of course, partnering with our city and partnering with the One Way Group, partnering with the Walton Family Foundation, and making ways that we can put our city on the map for people to look at us as an opportunity to be, we're the first of something, we're the pilot of something. I'm a little competitive.
You were an athlete.
Yes.
At one point, you played sports.
Yes.
So yeah. I can see
Yeah.
that.
So I want to win at everything. But I think really one of the things we want to make sure that when people talk about a destination, they're not just talking about your big city destinations. Bentonville's on that list, and we want to be on that list to come for cycling. We want to be on that list for aviation. We want to be on that list for the culinary. We want to be on that list. Before we weren't on that list, and I think in the last 25, I said we're now on that list, and it's because of a collaboration of people. It's all the people working together, and I think for me, that is one of the biggest bonuses we have in Bentonville, is that it is a team effort at all times when we're working together to get to that end result or that finish line to win.
I like that competitiveness. As you're speaking, they're building parking decks and stuff for more visitors to come in, so we can hear that over there. So we spoke to Stuart Walton not long ago, and he told a story about speaking to someone that was in Colorado or somewhere, and this gentleman would visit mountain biking destinations across the country once a year, and Bentonville twice a year. And so Stuart, being very inquisitive, asked, well, why Bentonville twice a year? And he said, I smile more when I'm in Bentonville. So, I really took to heart that story.
Yeah.
And first of all, I think it should be a marketing slogan.
Yeah,
now. That's the marketing in me.
Exactly.
We
might steal that.
We're going to be competitive and steal it. But why do you think that is? Why does he smile as a visitor more in Bentonville, and why do we smile more in Bentonville?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I think hands down, it's the people. I think we create experiences, but when you're around the people here, we all love our job, we love what we're doing, so it rubs off on them and they get that experience. I think that it's unique. It's always changing too. You can ride our trails one year and they make just a few adaptations or some additions and they get another experience. So I think they're looking for those things. And I use trails as a prime example, but we're also adding art to our trails. We have over 130 public art pieces in Bentonville. 15, 17 years ago, we had like one or two. So we're continuing to see that. And that's a partnership with private-public opportunities where our city is investing, we're investing, our private entities are investing. So those are all things that have really kind of transitioned. And I think people are riding our trails, not getting just that trail experience. They get to visit with our folks, which everybody's always willing to help if they're wanting to look for something, go somewhere. So I think it's about the people are creating this experience for them to keep coming back, and also new experiences.
All right, I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions.
Oh gosh, okay.
We asked Stuart some fun questions at the end. We have some good ones for you. One is that I hear you spent a few years as a lifeguard at Disney World.
Yes.
When I heard that, I had to ask you about that.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna tell you something that I have, and you're gonna laugh.
We've got props.
I do have props today. In my purse that I carry I've carried it since I worked there, so it's over 30 years ago. I was working for Walt Disney World, and they give a guidelines for guest services. And I feel like one of the things is that they taught me so many things that I use on a day-to-day basis. So I keep their training tips with me at all times, and their guest services kind of philosophy. And I think sometimes we forget it's the basic things of making eye contact and smiling. And I think we forget that. And I think one of the things I take is preserve that magical guest experience. We want to make sure, and I think that's why that person's smiling, because I think our people create this magical experience for them. So it's always my favorite thing that I keep Disney with me all the time.
I love that.
And I'm also it's one of those things that we were taught that Disney, that experience, that magical experience. I mean, everybody always used to say I was, sprinkled with pixie dust, and I'll take that honor every time.
I love it. And to be clear, you never saved Mickey?
No, I never had to save Mickey. He did swim at Typhoon Lagoon, but we didn't have to save him. He swam. He did fine.
All right, what's your favorite public art downtown?
Oh,
Can you pick a favorite?
That's a tough one. I love public art, and I don't know if anybody knows. I mean, I keep track of it. I go take pictures with it. I really talk a lot about it. I think one of the things that I'm really proud of is the partnerships that we've had with folks and with our downtown, or with our Parks and Rec, and even downtown, just creating those experiences, and I think showcasing some of the art we have on our trails. And I think some of our first ones were Sunkist, Pac-Man, which is the Rock Man, some people call it. I think Sassy the Sasquatch, and then of course the Monarch and Dandelion. Those are all kind of some of our first ones, so I really have kind of a passion for the investment that we've done with that, and I feel like they're really talked about, and you see them a lot photographed as we go. So I think those are the ones that I love, but I think anything fun, bright, bold is beautiful, and I want to, every mural that is that way, I just have a passion for. So public art is a hard one for me to pick. I like all 130 pieces.
You do. I think your Instagram or one of your social media accounts, you take a lot of pictures with public art. So she really does. She lives this every day and takes pictures with it.
I haven't done it since probably about 6 months, but I used to go take a picture with a piece of public art every day. So my goal is to get every piece of public art posted, because I want to, highlight the artist, I want to highlight the art and showcase it to the rest of the world. So, yeah.
All right, next question. This is equally hard. What's your favorite meal downtown?
Oh, I can't answer that. Because gosh, there's not a favorite meal. I could tell you a favorite meal at every restaurant.
I did the same thing. I could take you on a food tour.
Yeah,
but there's no one.
Yeah,
specific.
That's a tough one for me. Really, the thing that I think is best for us is that we have these unique experiences that you're not going to get. We have a lot of chef-driven restaurants, and I love that the menus change with the seasons. And so I just think there's so many different things. I'm passionate for soups, so I will go to each of the restaurants when the winter months come, and my lunch is somebody's soup on a regular basis. So all of them I love, so I can't give a favorite, but it would be a tough one to do. But I love every restaurant and the experience we have and the partnerships we have with them. They're top notch, and we love bringing them, awareness to what they're doing.
And this is ideal soup weather.
Yeah, oh, hands down soup weather. If you haven't had the cauliflower bisque at the Hive, that's fantastic. And the tortilla soup at Table Mesa, some of my favorites. So there, I gave you a little favorite.
Some good, just a little tip there.
Yeah.
All right, last question.
Okay.
If you take a day off, what do you do on your day off if you're here in Bentonville?
Well, I think spend it with my husband or my kids. That's the number one thing. I have siblings here, so we're together quite often. We do a lot of dinners at one of our houses and different stuff. But I'm getting back into running again, and hopefully going to do some golf. And I've starting to we've just picked out a bike. I'm going to try to do some gravel riding that I've never done. So it's kind of a new thing. I've been on the mountain bike trails, but I was a cross-country runner in high school and college, and played softball in high school and college, and I think gravel riding might be something that I have a passion for. It's the time that my mind doesn't shut down, as most people know, so I think gravel riding might allow that to slow down just a little bit. Not a lot, but slow down.
But
just
a challenge.
Yes, a challenge for sure, and it's something new for me, so I think I'm always liking to do that new experiences, and I think there's some camaraderie with it that I can do. I can do it by myself, or I can go ride with people. So I think that's a great opportunity for me.
I'm going to put you on the spot with a final question.
Okay.
You as Kalene the person, not Kalene Visit Bentonville. What's it been like watching Bentonville grow over the years?
Well, really, as for me, it's fun. I think every day. I love going to work, so it's that from that side if you want to talk about that. But really, to be honest with you, I have had no other experience like this, that if you want to do something, I can go find it to do it. If there's an opportunity for us, the innovation, everything, it is really what feeds me and my passion for our community. So I think it's a personal thing, but it's also this professional opportunity that I don't feel like it's a professional opportunity. I love what I do every day, and the people that I get to work with and the opportunities that we get are top notch, some of the best experiences, and I've learned something from so many people, so many mentors that I've had. And I couldn't ask for a better experience. And I want to keep doing this because I feel like what's happening in the future, we don't know, but we do know that there's going to be some fun things happening. And I think we're going to hopefully grab a hold of it and run with them and make some really fun experiences for new visitors and our locals.
Yes, well, we appreciate what you do. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
sitting and chatting with us in the wind today.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you.